while she's there, she'll take lots of lovely pictures and write a travel book and try to come back and, start doing something that way. So that's what she does. She toodles off. She goes there, and suddenly nobody there knows who she's talking about. No, they never saw an Irishman come and stay here, which would be odd.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and she meets, when she's there, this tour guide that's named Omar, who, they're very attracted to each other, but she decides no, she doesn't want to get involved. She's just had a...
Because,
it's all too complicated. But it all gets even more complicated.
It does. It gets very complicated.
And then we find that somehow he's involved in the mystery.
Right.
Somehow, we don't know how, but we figure... We learn before Addie does. This is the nice thing. The reader learns things before Addie learns.
Right.
Little clues.
Yes.
And you kind of go, oh, he knows more than she's telling her.
And for me, I read, and I finished it last night, and I'm going to say I was probably about 60% through it when I picked it up, but I had to go back a little bit because where I picked it up was sort of like, okay, I don't know what we know. So I had to go back, get my bearings a little bit, and start again. But I didn't go all the way back. I only went back maybe a couple chapters, and then that set me on the course.
Yeah.
And then I started going, oh, come on, Addie.
I know.
Come on. But I mean, there's no clues to her.
No,
to us.
That's right.
And it's like, come on, there's something...
Yeah.
Omar.
Yes, I know.
Why don't you just, say something?
Yes, exactly.
And why? And so that's it planted a suspicion in me. Why is he doing this?
Yes, exactly.
Is he not what he seems? Because he seems like a great guy.
I know.
But there's this thing he's holding back.
Exactly.
So you're thinking, is
he not a great guy?
Maybe he's not so great. Maybe we're being deceived in some. What's going to happen? And then we have her, and she seems like she's smart and she's savvy, and she's come through this, really bad time, and she seems like she's going to be the heroine, and she seems like she's doing really well, but it's like, open your eyes, like there might be something here.
She's a little bit naive as well.
A little bit naive, because you
you
expect a little more, and she's being naive, and it's like, can't you see? But then you kind of go, okay, but she has had a hard time, and maybe she just needs,
and also she's in a very different place, a very different culture, so she's a bit wrong-footed. She doesn't quite know. She's probably not
depending a lot on the kindness of strangers in a lot of ways. Out of necessity. So, but everything gets revealed. Let's put it that way. Everything gets revealed towards the end. Before I started the book, I did read a few of the reviews, and a couple of people mentioned the cliffhanger at the end, but it's not a cliffhanger.
No, what happened?
It's a twist.
It's a twist. It's not a cliffhanger.
I think that was
but what also happened, because the publisher sends the book out to readers that are registered with them.
ARC.
Yes, ARC.
So
readers.
They review the book before
it's released. And the ending was slightly different.
Okay.
Okay, and I mean, not that different, but slightly different. And it was just felt maybe it was a little bit abrupt.
Right.
I loved the ending, but anyway, it felt a little bit abrupt. So I wrote a bit more, and now I think it works really well.
It was great, and so there was a twist.
Yes,
kind of saw it coming.
I
kind of saw, although there really weren't any clues. I just thought if I was doing this, I'd probably
but that's fine. That's fine. Not everybody sees it coming.
Not everybody would.
Yeah.
And that's like.
But that's okay if you see it coming.
I'm really good at that because we watch TV, and if there's a show on, and I'll go bang, and next thing they're shot, and he's like, my husband goes, how do you know that? And I'm like, because that's how I would have wrote it.
Yeah, exactly. So you probably got it because
you have a little more insight when you write drama and stuff. But. So I saw, and I liked it.
Thank you. I was quite pleased with that ending. Actually, when I wrote it, I was like, I was
hoping
pleased
for the
with
twist because I kind of saw it coming. Not real in advance. No. Maybe just a chapter or two in advance. And I'm like, I wonder.
Yeah.
and because it was all starting to come together,
Yes.
and I was like, I wonder if this is going to,
Yeah.
you know. So that was a lovely twist, and it was a satisfying, what I would call a satisfying ending.
Yeah, I think
not
is.
a happily ever after forever.
You know,
but satisfying.
It's a satisfying ending, and I mean, I do have an idea for a sequel to it, which I would love. Which I'm actually about a quarter of the way in, so I hope that will be coming along eventually.
So, it's a great book. Satisfying ending. What do you want? I mean,
thank you. Well, I mean, I wanted to start writing books that I would enjoy reading, you know, and I like to make it a readable, interesting story. I'm a storyteller. That's what I like to do. I like to make a world where people feel they can put themselves in that world. In this case, Morocco.
Right.
I like to put in things that you think about a bit. And this one, it's all about, you know, cultural relations and all of that kind of thing. And also mixed relationships. You know, he's Moroccan and she's... Two religions. Two
cultures.
You know, there's a lot of things looked at, not beating your head over with it, but putting it into the story and looking at it that way.
I think it does a good job of pulling out the stereotypes, that people, the presumptions we make.
That's right.
Well, they're Muslims, so this, that, the other thing.
Yeah,
and I find that there are as many shades of Muslim as there is of course. People in the world. I mean, it's just everybody expresses that differently anyway. And like Christianity, there are so many denominations and different
exactly
the same thing.
And you know, the Amazigh, the Berber population, I mean, they were various things before the Arabs came over to North Africa and brought Islam, which they brought in the 600s. But before that, the Berbers were there, the Amazigh were there, and they were a mix of Jewish and Christian and pagan,
right,
depending where they were in North Africa. So, and a lot of the old superstitions are still
right
in the mountain and rural and desert communities. That's very much their part of their identity and their culture. And I wanted to bring some of that out in the book too. You know, I found it very interesting.
It's like we have here. We, you know, even though we're primarily Christian population in this province, we still have the fairy lore.
Well,
and,
indeed,
the suspicions and all of that, right?
Yes,
so,
yes, indeed. It's the same kind of thing.
It's the same kind of thing.
Yeah,
and that all,
and they believe. I mean, absolutely believe it without question.
Absolutely, it's just why not believe that?
Well, I know it does. Is if you believe it, then it must be so. Kind of.
There is some interesting. I won't call them superstitions; they're real to them.
It's magic realism, maybe, or something a little bit like that.
Yeah, they have beliefs in genies.
Yes,
and,
absolutely.
You know. Being able to sort of curse people or wish them
ill. And they do. There's the kind of, what do you would call it? I mean, you might say witch, but that's such a that has so many connotations. Medicine woman or
practitioner of the arts of
herbal arts. But they're called shawafas,
right?
And it's not only women; men do it too. But certainly in the mountains, you'll come across people like that who they are experts in herbal remedies, you know, which often is the only way people can
there's
be
a similar
cured.
Character in my book, and she's a midwife.
Yeah, indeed.
And so she has her mother was American and practiced, you know, natural medicine and
quite often the Shawafa women are midwives as well, that kind of thing. But they can also have some knowledge of spells, I suppose you might say. And
potions and
spells, yes. And certainly genies are interesting because they are considered a different type of angel.
Right.
They're when you know, when in Christian theology, Satan and the angels are cast out and fall to hell, and become demons and go down there. Some get caught between heaven and earth, and they become genies, apparently.
Oh, okay.
Yes. Yeah.
I'd never known the origins
so they,
of that.
That's right. So they believe genies are as real as angels, just a slightly different kind of shape-shifting. Could be good, could be bad, could be what it is.
Every culture has these beliefs in a different way. For instance, when I grew up, we'd always hear about the seventh son of a seventh son having some powers of healing, charming your toothache away, and doing... if you put a stone on the inside of the... or marked it with chalk on the inside of the oven, when the chalk was gone, your toothache would be gone.
There's all
these little things.
It's so interesting. I mean, it's so interesting. There was a very old woman who would come by the house of my partner, at his parents' house, and we'd be at lunch, and she'd come by, and she looked about 150 years old. She was so, small and wizened and blind in one eye, and she would come in, and she would always be invited to have lunch, and my partner, Hamid is his name, would say... "Oh, I don't understand this woman. She told me 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago you were coming. She said you were coming soon, even before you told me you were coming." Yeah. And he said, she always knows when you're coming, even before you tell me when you're coming. And I go, well, that's interesting. Who knows why? Who's to argue? Yes. He says, I can't even think about it. I can't process that information.
You should not know before,
Yeah. It's like, well, it is what it is.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
No, that's it. And we're all more alike than we are different.
Yeah, that is really what
that's pretty much the theme running through the entire story, is that we're all so much more alike than we're different, and that's where you should place your attention. That's exactly the
point of the book.
There we go.
Really.
We've wrapped it right all
up. You did.
So what's next for you? You've got another book coming?
Yes, another book coming. I'm
titled yet or not?
Not still untitled. Have an idea, but I don't know yet.
I love how that goes.
Yes. The Kindle's coming out the 2nd of December, and the paperback in the spring. I'm not quite sure in Canada, because I think the Kindle might be the same. The paperback might be a few months later.
Kindle, I now have a lovely...
But it's certainly available. Lost Letter from Morocco is on Amazon.ca. Kindle, and the paperback's coming out across the country on June 18th. And I'm heading to Montreal in a few weeks. We'll be doing a book signing in Pointe Claire there.
Now, I'm hoping their paperback, will we have it at the Chapters and Coles?
You should very well do it. Yes, because HarperCollins Canada is sorting all of that out.
Yeah. So you'll be able to pick it up at your major bookstores.
Yes.
Lost Letter from Morocco. The Lost Letter from Morocco.
There we
I've
go.
been trying... get that
The
right.
Lost Letter from Morocco.
Because I want to say The Lost Letters of Morocco.
No. The Lost Letter from Morocco.
Although if you Google that, it'll probably come up.
Yes.
The Lost Letter from Morocco by Adrienne Chinn. Coming out in paperback on June 18th. It's on Kindle right now.
That's it.
So go do your little search. Click. Buy with one click.
Yes, I've got a Facebook, Adrienne Chinn Author Facebook, and you can always send me messages, and I will.
Isn't it great when you get messages
great. I love
from people who read the book? I love that.
Yeah, I love that.
People talk about reviews, and I know there's a reason to get reviews on Amazon and Goodreads for everybody to see.
Yeah.
But I love when somebody takes the time to write me an email.
I love that too. So I would love it. And hopefully I'll be back next year as well with the other book out. That would be great.
Wouldn't that be great?
Yeah.
Well, the next one has a Newfoundland.
That's right.
Theme. You have to come back.
Exactly.
It's just
so. I think I need to rent a cottage here every year.
I think
it's time for me to be coming back more regularly.
You need to sort of do it in Central.
Yeah.
So then you can go either direction.
Exactly. Absolutely.
Well, thank you, Adrienne, for popping in.
Thank you, Carolyn.
Citadel House.
It's fantastic.
And we will be this podcast will be available. Well, we'll be airing this on May 31st, which is Friday, and we air it Friday at 8:00, and then it'll be on podcast at that point.
Fantastic.
And you can listen to it at your convenience as well.
Great.
And it's on Apple. We're on all the major podcast platforms: Apple, Google, TuneIn,
Yay.
SoundCloud. I always want to say Orange Cloud because the logo is orange.
Yeah.
SoundCloud. I mean, all the big ones.
Wonderful.
Some of the small ones. So, yeah. Podcasts are great. Great for you. You're traveling. You
Yes. I'm off to Fogo Island in a few days.
Lucky
and
you.
Then over to, where am I going to? Down Wesleyville Way, and then up to Trinity, and then back to St. John's.
Nobody out there is jealous.
Yay.
Nobody at all.
Yeah, I can't wait.
Icebergs.
Iceberg. Oh, yes. I'm looking.
Are you going to do a boat tour?
Yeah. I'm trying to get on an iceberg boat tour, and I'm going to go on at Trinity. I'm doing a Zodiac whale thing.